everybody. Welcome back once again to the Retro Wrestling Review USWA podcast. I'm your host, Gene Jackson, coming to you as always from the Retro Wrestling Archive in Gadsden, Alabama, along with producer Smokey, doing things behind the scenes. And before we get going, we got to bring my co-host on. First up, he's the Nightmare Nephew himself. It's Josh Briley of P3 Radio. What's up, Josh?
Man, just chilling out on this good Sunday morning. How you doing, man?
Sleepy, man. Got in about 2 a.m. from EPW last night.
Oh, wow.
And it took me about another hour to go to sleep, and then I was back up at 8 o'clock. So I've got enough caffeine in me now. I'm just about awake. So there's some pretty fun stuff to talk about this week and some clips to watch. So I'm excited about this. But before we get going with that, we got to bring on our other co-host. He's the owner, founder, and president of STSpod.club, and he's currently Jonesboro, Arkansas's favorite resident. Spoiler alert, it's Brian Tramel. What's up, BT?
Hey, what's going on, guys? I went to sleep about 8:30 last night after a 20-milligram gummy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I usually take a 5, but I went ahead and chewed a whole 20 last night, and I did not. Misty says I talked when she came to bed and touched her. So let's just say I don't remember that. But yeah, I guess I'm doing pretty good. Been up since 4. Look, I'm gonna go ahead and say 4:20. I've been up since 4:20 this morning. Oh yeah.
So does that mean that potentially you're gonna have like a Me Too thing? Do we need to
probably with my wife?
Right now?
Yeah, with my wife. You never know there.
You're lucky Oprah still ain't doing her thing, buddy.
Oh, look at the audience is stunned right now at this revelation from.
All right. Hey, a Patreon story. Remember Ron's story. Just remember that, and I'll tell you a Ron story. It's my best friend Gene and my favorite co-host P3 Radio, Josh. I love you guys. You know I do. But I'm getting Buck over here, and I'm brought to you by Jolly Royal Furniture. Open a new account or reopen your old account at 122 South Main Street there in Memphis, Tennessee. And, guys, I'm ready to man, I don't know, Richard used this new term on P3 Radio, and I'm trying to use it right. I'm ready to slap. Is that right? Did I use that right?
Slap?
I'm not the one to ask about that. I'm not up on all that.
And did I tell y'all like 3 weeks ago that Meltzer retweeted one of my posts? I don't know if I told y'all that.
You told me in a private message, but
all right, I'm ready for this show. I did a little bit of research and found out nothing, so let's talk.
All right. Well, I was hoping you'd have some inside dirt on Dong One Hung Low or whatever that guy's name is.
I do have some dirt on him. I do.
All right. Great. We'll get to him just a little bit. So we got Dave Brown and Michael St. John here, and they say that due to the USWA's open door policy, the Western States Tag Team Champions are here, and that being Judge Dredd and Samu. So I'm picturing a big Samoan from the SST, but no, it's not Samu. It's actually Sabu. And so we're going to pull this up and watch this.
Right there, T.D. Steele leading his own chairs. Chris Frazier, his partner. Look, that's Judge Dredd coming in right there. Samu,
the Hillbilly Undertaker here.
He just got out of El Camino.
He looks it. He looks every bit of it.
He doesn't have wrestling. He just got some boots. That's it.
Oh,
he's got his clothes on.
Pairing. I mean, Sabu can't afford boots yet. He's barefooted here.
And he is so skinny and so young, y'all. Oh, my God.
This is a trip. This is got to be the beginnings of Sabu or just first year or two, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it'd be first or second year. I mean, he's really, really green here. And this, I mean, I just can't get past this. Judge Dredd here looks like he'd be just some outlaw guy from Bongwater, Mississippi or some shit.
Was he wearing real? I think he had real wrestling boots on, but he's got them black jeans on.
Samu is all over him.
Man, he's not stopping this. Yeah, he's got wrestling boots on.
Okay.
But jeans and
somebody's
a t-shirt.
bag was missing some boots.
And he's not god awful,
No.
but not at all. That's what I.
but his athletic prowess is like almost non-existent. Like
Well,
Right.
yeah.
he's not very
And-
fluid in his movements at all.
And
Which,
besides the
I wouldn't
wrestling
be
moves-
either. I'm not saying that. I'm just,
Well, he ain't no damn BT Express, that's for sure.
Well, no.
Sabu, on the other hand.
Sabu.
Yeah, Sabu, on the other hand, can do moves just like the. I actually taught him how to do that. So.
But at this point, I think he's been in wrestling 6-7 years or some shit, right?
Who, Sabu?
Sabu, yeah.
I don't know.
Because
I
he
don't
was
think so.
Superfly
I mean-
TSR or some shit for
Yeah, I
several
think
years
he
before this.
had been handed to having random matches, but like this is one of his first territories he's coming into to be. I guess you could say featured. He's Western States Tag Team Champion. Was it in a real thing? Somebody just pulled that out of their ass.
So he
There's no
worked. Yeah,
belts.
he worked for his. Was it his uncle, the Sheik?
Yeah, who trained
And
him.
started that in '85, and then they sent him to the USWA in '91. So he'd been doing it about 6 years. Yeah.
I like that move right there. He damn near hit the lights.
I was
I
gonna
did
say
too.
it's taking a big chance getting that move in the WMC studio, but
It's just a flat-footed backflip, dude. I could not imagine Sabu trying to do that 10 years later.
let's hear what kind of promo ability this
USWA.
has.
We're looking for some competition in this league. We're the Western State champions. We're gunning for Fuller and Jarrett, and we mean business.
Well, Fuller and Jarrett.
Back to the
What do you
camera the
mean,
entire
business?
time, and then he backs out of the shot where you never see his face.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was by design or he just never had been on TV
No.
before, but he,
Yeah, I think that's it. And dude, I don't even know if he was a wrestling fan because who uses that fucking lingo in this league? This fucking USWA.
yeah.
Like,
Now I looked up Dread and searched around. Meltzer talked about it being like the drizzling shits, which I didn't think he was. He was green, but he wasn't just god awful.
We've seen way worse on Memphis, haven't we?
The name that
Oh, yeah.
keeps coming up, and I don't think it's him, is Anthony Wayne. And along with Anthony Wayne is Lakeisha Oliver, who is both of those people are based in Nashville, have been in around the wrestling business. I reached out to Brian Turner, and he had no idea. So,
well, I do
it's-
know this for sure.
Okay.
The first summer that I got to go up to my uncle's school and fucking just stay there for a month and just go to the shows and
Right.
shit. Flash Flanagan was still there and he was on some of them. Well, he was selling the best of Flash Flanagan volume 1 and 2. And he had
Right.
like a little Xerox cover and shit. Well, the first match was it was Sabu and Judge Dredd versus Flash and like Mike Samples or some shit. And
Oh,
it was
wow.
in that Central City Wrestling that I guess maybe Mike ran in the early or mid 90s or some shit. So I know at least he lasted a few more years.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, they are here. They're challenging Jeff Jarrett and Robert Fuller for the USWA World Tag Team titles, as they're the Western States champions. And like I said, really impressed with Sabu there. He was just perpetual motion there. He didn't stop. If he was in the ring, he was doing something there. We're not going to watch the whole promo from Fuller and Jarrett here, but we're going to take a look at it and kind of talk about a couple of things on the other side. I'll let you
Oh,
guys
God.
talk to see if you noticed the same things I did. But let's hear right now from old Double J and the Tennessee Stud.
We're going to be able to do it. It's a charity walk, Rob.
It's a long way.
You ain't kidding. I guess we're going to be getting in shape for the matches. But this little lady right here, she's got scoliosis, and we're going to be doing a charity walk, trying to raise a lot of money. It's for a great cause because me and Robert, we feel awful fortunate, and we thank the good Lord every day that we are able to step into that ring and wrestle to the best of our ability. And, it seems like sometimes when we're in the ring, we think we got problems. Well, there's children just like her who are confined to wheelchairs and other handicaps that make us feel proud to get out there and wear these belts and do things for charity. And I guarantee you one thing, when we step into the ring this week, Rob, we got the Western States Tag Champs, and we're going to do everything in our power because they're going to go up against the World Tag Champs.
That's right. You know, Jeff, I'm gonna say we're dedicating this match to Deyaniro Martinez sitting right here. One of the prettiest things you ever saw. And I'll tell you what, that walk ain't going to be nothing. We're going to knock that right out. But I'll tell you where the walk's really going to take place. It's when the Western State Champions come to meet the World's Champions. We're going to do the walking there, too, and the walking's right over top of you guys.
I feel real uncomfortable, y'all. I laughed during this while I was alone in my room. So nobody got to hear me laugh. Is there somebody in the background going, hee, and that little girl smiles and you think it's her going, hee, and I'm like, why is she doing that?
Yeah, it sounded like somebody was just poking the Pillsbury Doughboy's belly over and over again. So is it just me, or did the gist of Jarrett's promo kind of come off like, yeah, sometimes me and Robert get to feel like we got problems, but fuck, at least we ain't handicapped like this.
Yes, look at this kid. Shit. Yeah.
Yes,
it ain't so bad.
That's the feeling of the promo, and it's so like we're doing a charity walk, and Robert Fuller made it seem like they were going to walk from Dallas to Tucson, Arizona,
or that girl was going to walk. It's like I'm going to slap her with my dick. And
I'll explain to you later what walking is. You don't know much about that.
And if you could, you wouldn't be doing much of it afterwards, honey. Either way, my biggest thing about it was they talked about how our spine and shit was messed up, right?
Yeah.
And then Robert Fuller is gonna lean in and give her a kiss, but he don't do any leaning. He just like grabs her by the head and pulls her, all her neck and shit has to like lean up. I thought that was hilarious.
I was hoping I wasn't the only one that noticed that. I was like, good Lord, Robert just broke her neck.
Don't do that. Hey guys, y'all mentioned Mike Samples a while ago. Man, did that sound southern?
That's the same thing as Mile Nair.
Mile Nair. Here, I found him on TikTok, y'all. Look, he's with Jasmine St. Clair. That was a tweet right there. See, there's Mike Samples.
There he is, the headhunter, they called him.
He's coming back.
Luckily, that was a short-lived gimmick for him.
And Jasmine St. Clair, does she still do films?
I'll
have to research that, but I did have to bring y'all Mike Samples when I saw that yesterday. So
well, there you go. If anybody was asking what happened to the headhunter,
there he is,
hunting head apparently still, and she's in the border, I bet.
Hit the drum.
So we didn't show it here, but of course we had to mention, if they lose, they're going to split up and all that shit. They were talking about
no, they didn't do that again, did they? I didn't notice.
Yes.
In this promo,
that little girl's neck, he proceeded to say.
Well, she started making me feel uncomfortable. I hate to admit this because I don't do this a lot, but I kind of fast forward the rest of it after the hee. So.
I almost said something where we're not.
All right, thanks.
I'll save that till afterwards. Anyway, so last week we saw that unforgettable video on Ta-Gar, Lord of the Volcano, and now we get to see him in the ring. And so it's not a very long match, so I know we're going to be a little clip heavy this week, but by God, this needs to be seen. Let's check out Ta-Gar in action against Randy Johnson.
Randy Johnson waits along with referee Paul Neighbors. We are waiting for Ta-Gar. Here he comes right here. Ta-Gar on his way to the ring. Oh, this guy right here. We saw some. Oh, look at that. Shooting that. Whoa, my goodness. Shooting those flames out of that shield. Ta-Gar heads to the ring.
We saw that video, Dave, and that was an impressive video. This is the first time I've had the opportunity, and I guess this is the first time you've seen him in person.
Yes, it is. He does have quite quite a bit of size, I guess is the way to put it. He's big.
Most unusual hood ornament, if you would. Picks up young Randy Johnson, delivers him right into the mat, and drops down on him. Looks like he can wrestle too, Dave.
Yeah, he's not really giving Randy Johnson much of a chance here. He grabbed him early and went to work on a big clothesline there with that big glove on.
He's got that glove. Uh-oh, what's he going to do? He's setting that glove up. Whoa! Shooting the fire, came right down on him with the claw. 1, 2, 3. He got the quick 3 count, and Ta-Gar has that claw locked into the temple area. Referee calling for the bell again, Dave. Apparently Ta-Gar doesn't want to release this. Oh, uh-oh! Here comes Bill Dundee!
Yeah.
He's going to release it now! Dundee,
Look out! That'll break up that claw. Bill Dundee with a folding metal chair across the back of Ta-Gar. Yeah.
He actually broke that chair over the back of Ta-Gar. Ta-Gar not wanting to relinquish the claw hole on young Randy Johnson and Bill Dundee.
Paulie Shore took a beating right there.
Randy
Ta-Gar.
Johnson, didn't he play baseball?
Yeah,
Josh
I was
would know that.
expecting more, dude. I was expecting tall, lanky, possibly packing a baseball as a weapon. He would have took his fucking head off with that. But, dude, that is like if the Young Bucks could have went back to that moment. That was, with the headband, the hair, but no ponytail. But he had the Shawn Michaels hearts before Shawn Michaels was doing that. I think this guy was a time traveler. Or some
That's
shit.
possible. It is possible.
Wrestling fans from Alabama may recognize him as Donnie Primetime going back in a time machine there.
There you go.
Some people will get that reference. Others can look it up.
I got it.
What a high spot right here. I mean, you shoot flames out of your glove up
Yeah, how
into the
do you
studio
get-
lights.
You don't get DQ'd, and you take the glove that just had fire come out of it, and you stick it in someone's face. What the fuck?
And when I saw that, all I could think of, do you remember those old Coca-Cola signs that were like, they looked metal or some shit, and they were that shape? I feel like he messed up one of those and made that apparatus.
He took that to the mall and got a Coca-Cola sign airbrushed with this nonsense.
I actually think that Lawler did that nonsense.
Are those nipples all over that thing? I can't.
And here's why I'm so happy, guys. I remembered this. Can you believe it? I said last week, I think he had fire coming out of that shield, and I'll be damned.
You're right.
Okay, so I asked some other people about Ta-Gar, hoping that we would find out who the hell it is. And guess what? Still, nobody knows who Ta-Gar is. So.
Well, some genius on the YouTube channel put in the comments, and I don't think he was being sarcastic. He didn't play it up to be that way, and he's commented on other things. I've never known him to put joke answers or sarcasm.
Right.
But one guy he was pretty sure that this guy is Bob Armstrong under that mask.
He's right. Yeah, that's it. You can tell by the height and everything. By the way, he wasn't as small as I thought he was going to be.
Height-wise, he's small, but he's built.
Yeah.
But he's not tall like I
Bob
thought he
Armstrong.
was.
Well, I can see
And he
it.
ain't tan, that's for damn sure.
Doesn't even look like Bob Armstrong's body.
No, nothing
Although
about
I haven't
it.
literally looked at his body, but
I mean, by 91, Bob's arms didn't look like this. I mean, he had a tattoo.
He
that
still
you
chopped
seen.
the fuck out of me though in a battle royal. That motherfucker.
He will
fucker.
up until his last match ever. He was chopping the fuck out of people. But yeah, did you notice? Is there one thing that I don't know? I noticed. I don't know if you guys noticed. This week, not one single solitary time did anyone refer to Lord of the Volcano. They just said Ta-Gar the entire time. So I don't know if somebody's like, this shit's goofy enough with the Dr. Doom mask and all this, but Lord of the Volcano is just absurd. This sounds like something Joe Bob Briggs would be showing on, Monster Vision or something. So at least they did back off of that. It seems anyway. After that, Bill Dundee comes out and cuts a promo. He mentions that he's going to get out of his recent slump because he had been worried about his son, but now Jamie's back at home and all's right in the Dundee house, and he's refocused. And this Monday night, he's going to beat Ta-Gar.
He beat him last Monday night. Yeah, he beat him last Monday night. I was like, what are you talking about?
That's what I put in my notes. I'm like, you beat him last Monday night. Well, we got to act like that didn't happen, but all right, whatever. So be it. If that's what it takes to justify a rematch, I guess that's what y'all are going to do. But, yeah, so big rematch this Monday night between Bill Dundee and Ta-Gar, not the Lord of the Volcano.
And not the Bullet, just so everybody knows.
No, not Bullet Bob Armstrong. If somebody can send us some kind of proof that that's Bob Armstrong, we will retract that statement. But as of right now, I feel completely confident in stating Ta-Gar was never Bullet Bob Armstrong.
Here we go. If someone can tell us and show us proof who the fuck Ta-Gar is, I will buy you a Ta-Gar shirt and send it to you.
Hey, there you go.
If you can find stspod.club will buy you a fucking Ta-Gar shirt and send it to you. We got to have proof because I have reached out to all Brian Turner, Jeff Osborne. These guys know everything. Jeff didn't even remember him. And Brian had no idea either, which is real weird. Brian knows a lot of stuff. So if anybody knows, there you go. You got to offer for a free t-shirt.
Yeah, and like you said, like BT said though, proof is the big thing. You can't just send in that was Elegante or some shit. We can't just take your word. So next up, the King is back. He's feeling great, and he calls out Eric Embry for his suddenly not having any beef with him last week, which was fun to say the least. And he accuses Embry of hiding behind all his Texas flunkies. And we find out, they announce here that Eric Embry has a monster coming after Jerry the King Lawler, and it's Leatherface. Now, here's the interesting part. Let's take a listen to some of Eric Embry's promo here as he tells us about the Leatherface that's coming to Memphis.
Well, let me tell you, Dave Brown, about Leatherface. Because, you see, in Texas, he is a legend. You know, let's go back in time. Let's go back into the 1960s. When a whole lot of creepy, weird things started happening, man. There started being graves dug up. There started being bodies out of those graves dismembered. You know what I'm saying, Dave? You know, they never could prove who was doing it. You know, they even made a movie. You know, I think the King said they're supposed to make a movie. They even made a movie about it, Lawler. Yeah, it was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They say they locked him away, and he's gone forever. Well, Lawler, he's not locked away, because think back, man. Think back when hitchhikers started disappearing. Think back, man, when little kids started disappearing. Think back when they found the bodies with the skin ripped off of them. Because Leatherface, you know, Dave, he took the skin and he made a mask, man. Yeah, Lawler. And I am gonna bring him up here. And he's gonna take you apart, Lawler, piece by piece. And he's gonna add a patch to this side and a patch to this side of you. You know, Dave, we got some footage. I want to show some footage of the original movie. Let's show you some footage, Lawler, of what you're going to have to face. Can you do that, Brad?
I don't really want to show that, let me tell you. I can't believe even you would bring anybody like that in here.
Oh, Dave, it's all coming in the end, man. Because you see, Lawler, I'm going to lead Leatherface to the ring. He's going to be all shackled up. But when I let him go, Lawler, he's going to start taking the King apart piece by piece, Dave. And you see, I'm in a...
Oh, you wanted the King. Here he is. Embry taking off the warm-up jacket, but Michael, he's keeping the ring in between him and the King.
Yeah, come
If you think I'm scared of somebody in a Halloween mask, you got another thing coming. You're not afraid of me. It looks like you're afraid of me. Well, if you're not afraid of me, get your rear end right over here and stand face to face with me. Get over here and get in my face if you're not afraid of me. Come on.
Okay, I had to show that because in the over the years there's been lots of movie monsters and silly gimmicks come through, but this is one of the only times where Eric Embry went out of his way to give the Leatherface wrestler the actual backstory from the movie and try to convince us that this is the real Leatherface, that they even made a movie, man. This was hilarious to me. I know a lot of people were probably rolling their eyes and shaking their head, and usually you would assume I would be too, but for some reason this was just so funny I couldn't even bitch about it. Like him telling that, them actually showing a clip from Texas Chainsaw
from the
Massacre.
actual movie. Yeah. How'd they get away with that? They got away with so much shit.
I guess just because they put that courtesy of so-and-so films in the corner.
I
guess maybe because WMC is some kind of affiliate of that company, or I don't know. But anyway, they showed it, and then Lawler comes out and yells, "You think I'm afraid of a guy in a Halloween mask? You're wrong."
I thought that was horrible. I thought that Lawler saying that made me think, why would you, he's just some guy in a Halloween mask. Why would you shit on the gimmick? I was like, oh my God, he just shit the gimmick. And it reminds me of when he broke his leg, and he came back and Hart had a different person it sounds like the same. And I don't know. I didn't check the results for next week, but it sounds like Embry's going to bring somebody every week until he has to wrestle Lawler. So that just feels that way.
I remember this as an 8-year-old, and
wow.
Ironically, this correlates with me. I either just a few months prior, or I discovered a tape not long after this of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So this right here was so important to me, and I love horror movies. I always have. Even at that age, I absolutely loved them. So I was, and you got to understand, during 1991. Like, I didn't find out until the remake of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in the early 2000s that the real shit never happened. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't just like common knowledge. So Eric Embry's from Texas. I bought into this shit.
Hell yeah. But Lawler just shit on it.
I know. But as an 8-year-old,
I get it.
Scared out of my fucking mind that he's going to cut Lawler up with a goddamn chainsaw. Like, I was so into this.
And Lawler really should have, just to suspend disbelief, played along with that.
He should have.
But I think this kind of proves the narrative I've heard Eric Embry say in some interviews, that by this point, Lawler is trying to completely undermine him and pretty much kill anything he's trying to do to get him out of that position and to work his way back up to the tippy top of the card.
Do you have any idea who this Leatherface?
I'm about to tell you. So I skipped over. Lawler had a match with Tex Salinger on TV. He gets a pin, and it turns out Lawler has just pinned his Monday night opponent here on TV
Tex,
before Eric introduced him, because Tex becomes Leatherface.
There was a man that he did every one of those creatures back in the day. I can't remember his Duke Myers. Duke Myers was a lot of those creatures. My buddy Tony Myers did Chainsaw Tony in Japan for a long time. And by the way, I'll just give you that episode this week and you can throw it up on your feed there, so you can. Cool. He talks about that and working in Japan, and it's fun. As he kind of stole the gimmick. And didn't Doug work as Leatherface too?
Well, I know for sure Ken Raper and Mike Samples eventually took over.
Yeah.
Like they would both kind of do it too. I do know that.
No, as far as I know, Doug just did Freddie, and Eddie did Michael Myers over in Japan, but I don't think he ever did Leatherface, because he tagged with Leatherface in Japan, which was Mike Kirshner, Corporal Kirshner from WWF.
I thought he did it one night for Bert, and Tony got a call from somebody saying, "Are you pissed at Doug?" He's like, "No." It's so silly that you would get mad because somebody was doing Leatherface gimmick, which is actually a fucking ripoff of someone else. So
Yeah, a movie gimmick. But so yeah, there will be a few different Leatherfaces over the years here, but this one at this time is going to be old Tex there, so no more Danny McBride on our screen without his mask. Next up, we got the Dirty White Boy with the Dirty White Girl.
Hey, before you say anything, but you didn't say anything, you don't have it, but our favorite video aired of all time.
Oh, God.
About
I
the
forgot to make a
kids.
note of that.
Yes.
So Lawler does a promo about Leatherface and about if he beats Leatherface, he gets 3 minutes in the ring with Eric Embry, which is kind of weird because like he's the Southern champion, but we're treating him like a manager. I mean, that's kind of
exactly the Jimmy Hart storyline. Exactly the Jimmy Hart storyline.
So I thought that was kind of odd, but yeah. So after this fired up promo, yelling about guys in Halloween masks and getting his revenge, just arbitrarily out of the blue, Dave's like, all right, let's take a look at this video of the King, and it's the Thank Gods for Kids videos. I'm like, what the fuck does this have to do with anything?
I got the biggest kick out of that because we made so much fun of it in season 1. Yeah, just awesome. Made my day.
No rhyme or reason to
well,
show
maybe
the video
it goes back to Eric Embry's comment of remember when kids started disappearing, man. And Lawler is the White Knight. He's going to save the kids.
Yeah.
He's the shepherd of the
kids started disappearing, and Lawler had them. I mean,
Lawler's like Wu-Tang. He's for the kids. The only thing I could figure is maybe he was trying to one up Jarrett and Fuller. That. Yeah. They hung out with one handicapped kid that he touched a whole slew. Not like, you know what I mean. But anyway.
Yeah, we know what you mean.
Dirty White Boy beats the Scorpion. And they come over and do a promo. I don't think I clipped it. I don't think there's anything there. It's kind of more of last week where Dirty White Boy kind of signed off with that Dusty-esque I don't know. That's so weird to me. Like it doesn't feel like the
never noticed that either. Never noticed it at all. So
it's like Kim's bringing it out of him. He's
man. I wish he'd bring it out of me. If you know what you mean. Good God! If you know what you mean, that ain't even my saying. I can't even say my saying. Richard,
sassy side. Yeah, Richard would have a field day if he was here today. BT
fucking in my head. It's in my head today.
Well, that's good.
I'm trying to slap, y'all. I'm trying to slap.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Let's not. Let's leave the slapping to Dirty White Girl and
Misses. Who they're still referring to as Sweet Georgia Brown.
She called herself Sweet Georgia Brown.
Yeah, she introduced herself. I'm Miss Texas, Sweet Georgia Brown. I'm like, all right. And then eventually they'll bring a whole nother woman in as Sweet Georgia Brown.
Right.
Feud with Miss Texas, ironically. Then we hear from Dr. Tom along with Miss Texas. He insults Tennessee fans. He calls Dirty White Boy a has-been, which feels unnecessary because Dirty White Boy is not that old right here, and you never want to make your opponent seem like less than he is. Right. And so he talks about how Miss Texas is superior to the Dirty White Girl. And what do you guys think of what do you think of this combo, this Dr. Tom, Miss Texas combo? They seem to have kind of been paired off to themselves.
Yeah, I like it because this was an extra spicy, salty ass, angry Tom Pritchard. Like it felt like he was really going for the throat in this, and I like it. And yeah, to answer that, the Miss Texas and Dr. Tom, it's perfect because I liked Eric and Tom being like a chaotic tandem, just causing chaos wherever they went. But, they're having to do their own thing. So like Tom and her, it's almost like they're hoping that Tom's shit will bleed off onto her, because she's so new. And then that's a good way to break her in because he's one of the best. And he's like a psychological master as well. So, yeah, I love it.
I love it too, but watching this promo and thinking about Dirty White Boy and Tom Pritchard being so good at this time, they always were good, but they were just so smooth. It brought me, I want to question you two guys. Why do you think Dr. Tom or just Tom Pritchard or Dirty White Boy never got a run against Lawler? There's two guys who could have had hell of a matches with the King, but we never see them in a main event run with the King.
That's a good call.
Yeah, I don't know. Because, Tony Anthony got the shot in Smoky Mountain. I mean, he was a heavyweight champion for a while. So it's not like he wasn't capable. And obviously, Dr. Tom, I mean, he's one of the best. So maybe Lawler just didn't think that he would mesh well with.
I don't know. I was sitting there looking at him and going, man, Dr. Tom against Lawler would have been just as good or better than Embry. The matches would have been better. Well, I don't know. Embry's a good worker, but and also a Dirty White Boy, with Dirty White Girl. Lawler loved that kind of stuff. He loved the girl to be outside so he could, bring in another girl. Right. I just think it's weird. You got two guys that even, you go back and you watch this stuff and you look at it and you go, my God, they were good. And both of them got runs in WWE, not, big runs, but they, people knew they were good workers and solid. So, I don't know. I would have loved to see Pritchard at his prime there, right here in 91 against Lawler in a program, and would have liked to watch Dirty White Boy do something with Dirty White Girl. And I'm not going to say what. I'd like to.
Unfortunately, that tape never came to light.
If you know what I mean.
I'm sure there's one out there somewhere, but yeah, that's a great point. I've never even thought about that, and it wasn't because Lawler didn't think much of Tom Pritchard because he was always used well. He's one of the guys that Brian Christopher credits for really helping him learn how to work. That feud they had, he said, was like a pivotal part of his career, along with Danny Davis. So I don't know. I would love somebody to ask Lawler that. I don't know at this point if Lawler would even really remember if there was a reason. So
yeah, no, probably not. You have to ask somebody like Embry probably would, or Tom. Hell, you could ask Tom. He does podcasts everyone. Why the hell didn't you get a run? So
I don't know why.
okay, yeah. Slow down.
He'd turn into Piper on you, and they'd be like, "Yeah, Lawler didn't want to feud with Piper. That's why."
But, but he did feud with Piper.
Yeah,
the real Piper. Yeah.
And it was not well received by the general public.
I actually love that stuff. I love that stuff. So.
I liked the promos better than the match. But
yeah. I love the promos with him.
So next we have the debut return, I guess. I'm sure he's been through Memphis at some point, although I had to have been a really long time because I couldn't remember any time in recent years. Pistol Pez Watley shows up here, and it just, ironically, I just happened to have been writing an article about him, and then he popped up watching the TV. I was like, hey, this is perfect. Let's go hand in hand. And so he comes out, gets a real quick win in a match, and we kind of referenced this a minute ago, but let's take a look at a little bit of this action with Pistol Pez and sweet Georgia Brown, Miss Texas.
Hey, he been running rock shop around the USWA thinking that can't nobody take care of business but him. But I got news. I got news for you, Eric. You in trouble now because I am going to let you know that you ain't going to whoop nobody no more, sucker, because I am the one that's walking and talking today. And I want you all to know that Eric Embry, you will be set back and will not.
Wait a minute, monkey man. I am Miss Texas, sweet Georgia Brown. Talented and fine. And you are talking about one of mine, Eric Embry. You are no match for Eric Embry. You're not even good enough to shine his shoes. You know what I mean?
Well, let me tell you something, Miss Fine. You ain't nothing because Fine is in the mouth. Oh, let me see here. Oh, Dirty White Girl has her down. Dirty White Girl gives to the left. Woo, Dirty White Girl gives her right. There's a Dirty White Girl on top of it. What we got here is mass confusion. What we have here is the Dirty White Girl taking. Boy, you got the boy mixed up, and you too mixed up. You gonna find out that there ain't nothing nothing here.
You don't run your
Get
mouth
back,
about
sucker.
me, boy.
You walking in the danger zone. You walking in the danger zone, boy. You don't come in this way.
We don't have to wait.
Go to a break.
Go to a break, Eddie says. Let's go to break.
Wow, a lot happening right there. So Pez is doing a promo very reminiscent of Thunderbolt Patterson.
That's what I thought. Yeah,
that style and cadence. So then Miss Texas comes out, and she decides she's going to do her promo in that exact same style and cadence as Watley is. And it feels very odd. She refers to him as Monkey Man when she first walks up. I'm not even touching that one. Jesus Christ. And so what's hilarious is Dirty White Girl comes out, takes her down, they start fighting, and Pez goes immediately into play-by-play mode of this
turns
cat
into
fight.
Corey. I thought it was Corey.
Exactly.
Oh.
Dave had to pull the mic away from him so he could stand up and square off with Embry because he was so into this cat fight and calling it, he didn't realize his spot with Embry was coming up. But that was hilarious. And then, of course, every time we hear Eric on the mic, it's man. Well, they say man this time. He calls Pez a boy, and Pez lets him know that ain't cool. And now we have got a new face in the mix here going against Eric Embry for that Southern title. Pistol Pez Watley, or as he was better known for his time as a heel in JCP, Shaska Watley. And then in Continental, he was Willie B. Hurt.
Willie B. Hurt. That's right. Yeah.
The story I heard about that recently, I always wondered about that, but I heard, I was listening, I had found a series of Between the Sheets with Chris Zellner and Bo James, and it was a series on Continental. And over the past week, I've listened to almost all of it. And Bo says that Willie B. Hurt was a name Eddie Gilbert had come up with when he was booker for a jobber. He was just going to pick he thought it was a funny name. He was going to name some random jobber Willie B. Hurt. Pez comes in and sees that on a booking sheet, and he's like, Willie B. Hurt, that's cool. I could be Willie B. Hurt. And Eddie's like, yeah, if you want to, you can. And so that's how he ends up being Willie B. Hurt, because he's kind of wanting to, distance himself from the Shaska Watley character. He grew his hair back out and everything. And I remember seeing them advertising for a couple weeks, Willie B. Hurt, Willie B. Hurt. And I'm like, who the hell is Willie B. Hurt? And then he comes out there, and it took me a minute or two as a kid. I'm like, that's Shaska Watley. That ain't Willie B. Hurt. What did you guys think about this segment?
I thought it was cool, and I love Pistol Pez Watley. And like you mentioned, it almost felt like reminiscent of when he turned into Shaska Watley with Jimmy Valiant when they were trying to do the racial thing. Well, I felt like with Miss Texas calling him that, and then Eric Embry reiterating boy again after saying it the first time, I think they were trying to make something like that happen, and it just didn't, whatever reason.
They just tar and feathered him right there. Is what
and then Pez started going for a fucking announcer job. He just on the spot auditioned. I thought that was hilarious, and that's why Pez is great. He just does shit, and it's great. But I think that's what they were going for. Was that?
I'm going to tell y'all, I for shoot thought Corey was announcing. I did not think it was Watley, and I did not remember Corey being there. I was listening to it and saying, when did Corey jump in? Not a fan, Josh. And you said you wrote an article, Gene, and all I can say is never a fan of Pez Watley. I thought he had, when he come to being a wrestler and his work and everything, he was fun to watch. But his interviews to me were just that jive thing that Thunderbolt used to do. And I actually liked Thunderbolt, some of his promos, believe it or not, but never could get into that and just didn't like it. I just didn't like the stereotypical black jive talking, dancing black wrestler. Did I say black? It's something that there's something that
you're getting mad at a black guy for portraying what you say.
Talking and dancing. So Miss Texas said something.
Let this old honky tell you how he wants to see his black people presented on TV. Go ahead, BT. Go ahead, BT. Make it clear.
I just wanted to say that she said the line, "You can't even sign his boots."
Shine his shoes.
Oh, shine. I thought she said, you can't sign. Oh, good God. She got real racist, didn't she?
I think this was what they were going for.
They should have tarred and feathered him. They should have. Tarred and feathered right there.
I feel like Eric pulled Jackie aside. Was like, all right, man, you can say things I can't get away with saying out there. So call him a monkey man. Say shine shoes, and then I'll call boy, and then we'll be off cashing checks, baby. And then it would have been great if what BT thought actually happened. If Corey Macklin would have stepped out from behind the curtain and immediately started calling that, like he had just been there waiting for a cat fight to break out, and here it is, and now this is his moment to shine. But I feel like he at least was watching this at home and heard Watley, and he's like, "That's the way to do it right there. Now that's how I'm gonna do my commentary from now on in there." But yeah, I definitely hear what you're talking about. It definitely sounded like Corey suddenly dropped in.
I did. I mean, I do. I make notes while I'm watching the show. I do it right here on the computer, and as I'm watching the show, I'm making notes, and I was like, "What the fuck? When did Corey come?" And then I noticed it was Pez. I was like, "Damn."
He that over-exaggerated thing worked really well for heel Shaska. It feels kind of out of place here as a babyface in '91, but I don't know. I'm still here for it. So me and Josh will team up on BT for a change, rather than usually being me and BT bitching about something, and Josh be like, "I love it."
Oh yeah. As soon as he said, "I love Pez Watley," I was like, I wanted to sound
your face.
effect.
You're like, this piece of shit. Like.
Josh Briley.
I was looking at the side. I was looking at the side of the private chat over here. I was getting a message like, "Can we get Richard back? Fuck this guy," you know.
Richard probably don't like Pez Watley neither.
Oh yeah, he would probably. Yeah, he'd be like, "I think Embry nailed it right on the head there."
You might want to delete one of those blacks I said, if you would, please.
Well, now you've said it again. So.
Shit! Damn it!
You're killing us here. So, next segment, we go to the table, and Dave Brown and Michael St. John, for a moment, I thought they had been joined by Jason Hervey from the Wonder Years. Turns out this is young Rob Zakowski. Now, before we go further, I want to just state a gripe I have here. You mean to tell me these motherfuckers on USWA can't say Chris Candido, they can't say Sabu, but they managed to say Rob Zakowski with no problem? Jesus, like, that's the hardest name yet, and they got that one right. But then we're calling Chris Candino and Samu. But anyway, we talk about this Rob Zakowski. He's a karate fighter. He's a karate man, and he's out here to take a look at another karate man. Help me with his name here. Dung Chow Mang? Is that what they said?
That's as close as you're going to get. Yeah, Dom. It's Dom, as in Domometric. I can't say it. I can't talk today. Wow, surprise. Dom Cham Mang is actually but he's actually not really somebody, but are you going to play his match or something? I can tell a little bit of history of him when we get started. So.
Well, it's gonna. I don't know if we can. I think I can turn your mic on where you can talk over it here. Just a second. But I mean, he looks like he's straight from the Kumite, and he's ready to star in the next sequel to.
By the way, Rob Van Dam really looks like Jean-Claude to me right here.
Right there in that moment.
Yeah, know how young he is. Like, oh God, I know why he went with Rob Van Dam now.
And then this guy looks like Liu Kang from Mortal Kombat.
All right, we've been joined by a special guest right here, Rob Zakowski. Rob, introduce yourself to the wrestling fans right now.
Thank you. My name's Rob Zakowski. I'm a kickboxer from Poland. I've got a match signed with him there, right there. Looking very forward to this match.
This is Dong Chow Mang in the ring, an internationally known kickboxer. He is from Saigon, and this will be a wrestling match. But Dave and Rob, I don't know. He's wearing the kickboxing apparel, so I am sure we will see an awful lot of it. And immediately, Dong Chow Chang going to work.
Yes, I'm going to keep a good eye on him here because I want to figure him out. I've got a match already signed with him. It's a very important match to me.
Look at this. With the kicks, he's very quick. Whoa, look at that. Going right to work on Chris Frazier.
He's very quick. I think I can match his style.
Frazier whipped into the turnbuckle, and Dong Chow Mang going right after him. Now Frazier reversing it. Good old-fashioned wrestling, throwing some right hands. There's a headbutt. Whoa!
Even more vicious than I thought.
And Savant kick. There's another one to the midsection, working over the back of the leg.
A lot of kicks, yeah. That will be allowed in this match, too. The Vietnamese combat match, anything goes. You can kick to the legs, elbows, knees. Everything's legal.
And that will be 10 3-minute rounds, I understand.
Yeah, that's right. 10 3-minute rounds. We're going to have 30 seconds rest in between the rounds.
Mang catches him in the chest with the glove.
Okay, I wanted to get that botched clothesline in there before I killed that. I couldn't turn your mic on there, so
that's all right. He fell down coming in the ring.
Yes.
This real quick, and I'll tell you his name. His name is Osamu Nishimura, and all of this is kind of funny to me and kind of racist because they talk about him being from China, and I don't think Japanese people like to be called Chinese. But this kid was actually from New Japan Dojo. He went to the dojo in 1990. In his senior year at high school, he ended up working for New Japan, also wrestled for NWA Global, and even tried to win the ECW title from Shane Douglas at one time. Heyman brought him in for it. So, yeah, he had a good history. The gimmick was hilarious to me. But the idea that, you know how, they talk, everyone's Chinese or everyone's, I think Bobby, what's his name? Bobby from Bad Friends. What's his last name?
Really?
Couldn't remember his last name, and that's racist too now. But Bobby Lee, everybody says he's Chinese, or everybody says, they don't like being called another Asian race. But I thought that was weird why didn't they just say he's from Japan? That's where he's from.
I figured they were trying to do something with kickboxing, but they were saying he was from Vietnam. That's not known for kickboxing.
Did they say Vietnam? I thought they said Singapore.
And that's the gimmick of the match, a Vietnamese kickboxing.
Oh yeah,
match.
but he's from. Still, they're not going to.
And then they're latching on to the same shit with Rob. He's like, I'm a kickboxer from Poland.
Yeah.
I picture Eric. Man, that's a Polish name, man. Zakowski. Listen to it. Listen at it.
I'm sure Lawler's making fun of Embry. Like, how are we going to have a Polak karate fighter out there? Like, give him a different name. He looks like Jean-Claude Van Damme. We can't just call somebody something out of a movie. And Lawler's like, Leatherface, motherfucker. And he's like, we can't do two people out of a movie on the same show, man.
We'll get double sued. Can't get double sued. One at a time. Shit.
I love that at the beginning, when Michael St. John is reading it off the paper, he says, Dong Chow Mang. Moments later, he says, Dong Chow Chang, and he goes, and then he corrected himself in the next line. But I was like, oh my Lord, there's so much.
Hey, I got that joke on how Chinese people name their kids. We'll do that on Patreon. So okay. I got a good racist joke on Patreon.
Oh Lord, all right, yeah, make sure we save that for Patreon. But yeah, Rob Van Sikowski's showed up and Liu Kang, and they're gonna have a Vietnamese kickboxing match. So I love too that old Dong Chang there. First of all, thank goodness Chris Frazier never got tagged into the opening match with the Western States champ.
That's
so
right.
Fresh,
that's right. Yeah.
Fresh coming into this match with Dong Chang. And at one point, he went to kick Dong Chang. Dong grabbed his legs and drove the elbow in his leg. Same thing that took Daniel LaRusso out of the All Valley tournament. It almost cost him the entire thing. hopefully Mr. Miyagi was back there to fix Chris Frazier up once he walked through the curtain.
Chris Frazier was getting some really hard kicks to the legs. You could tell he was like, shit, stop.
I feel like
I was
laughing. Like, that's Chris Frazier. You can kick him as hard as you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
We've tried to hurt him, and we hadn't been able to do it yet. So do your worst.
He's got a mask on. We don't know who he is.
God dang, he gave him that shot to the gut, and he fucking kind of wobbled there and stopped. I'm like,
oh, that hurt.
My favorite
it's those kicks that don't look like they hurt. That's the ones that hurt.
Yeah.
The highlights for me was the spinning back fist that for real caught him. That was good shit. And then the finish where he did the goddamn butterfly kick and kicked him right in the face. Put him. I mean, I hope it was in the face. It looked good. And Chris Frazier, in my opinion, he can't even get his ass whooped and look good. It looked like shit the whole time, like fighting a duffel bag. But he took that last bump gracefully. That's why I'm thinking it was real, because he just laid him out.
It looked good. It wasn't from anything Frazier did. I promise you. I have mercy on everybody. I didn't clip this Carl Styles promo here.
God, that was good. Jeez, why didn't you do that?
Well, I didn't want to diminish all these other promos by showing the master here. Dave's face is just like, what the fuck is that? Jesus.
He kept going on and on about rednecks while talking like a redneck.
While talking like that, yeah. I'm sorry. I was going to try to bring David what he thought about it. Now I'm messing up everything.
Yeah, somehow you got on the backgrounds.
There you go.
All right. Next up, our main event tag team match. And boy, this is a couple of interesting teams here. Chris Candido and Carl Styles against Superstar Bill Dundee and Roughhouse Doug Gilbert. Don't think I have it. I don't have a clip of that match. Here's a couple of still shots. There's Doug punching Styles over in the corner, and there's Chris Candido got Dundee in a headlock, but his massive head of hair is protecting him here. He's not thanks to the Tatanka hair.
Tatanka Dundee. There we go. Ever since Scotty said that, we had to put Scotty over.
I can't unsee it. Yeah. So Dundee and Gilbert win fall number 1, and then we come back fall number 2. It's chaotic, and we just end up with a expiration of time. I don't know who all has listened to this week's episode of Dangerous Conversations, but I know BT has, and I tried asking Doug about this gimmick, like where it came from, how it came
3
about.
times.
I asked him once, and he steered away from it. I brought it back around and asked him again, and he steered away from it, so I just gave up. So I don't know.
He must have hated this. By the way, there was a clip in between all that stuff from the Pipkins building. Styles actually pinned Eddie Gilbert, which I thought was a travesty of justice. In that match from last week, I was just like, I rewound and watched it again. I was like, did they really put Styles on? But, Eddie didn't really care about putting people over if he thought it was going to help him. So, but yeah, that was to me. And Doug he skirted that, man. He did not want to. I thought you edited his comment out or something. That's what it sounded like. And then he went back to it and he skirted it again. He just did not want to talk about that.
I was like, we've been wondering this for weeks. I've got to try to get it. I was like, all right, man, people aren't going to forgive me if I don't ask this question again. I asked it again, and then you just trailed off into something else. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I get the feeling he wasn't totally into this. Like this all kind of feels kind of half-hearted here. Like, all right, I'll do it, but I don't have any faith this is gonna work.
Well, it seems like they're trying to steer away from the mentally challenged portion of it. And, like Michael St. John's at the beginning called him unpredictable Doug Gilbert.
I like that.
And, at the first of the match when Bill was in there just getting some stuff going, Doug just burst in there and did like a three different move spot, like it was a whole thing. Then he just walks out, goes to the crowd, starts shaking hands.
I actually love this character. It gives Doug, I know y'all didn't like it, but I love it because it gives Doug some kind of personality. To me, as I've said before, he was always Eddie's little brother, and he never got over with me until you started doing that podcast. I started watching some of his stuff and thinking, man, I didn't, he's a solid worker. But I love this Roughhouse or Unpredictable or whatever. I love the gimmick.
I don't dislike it. I just don't like the way that, and I even pointed this out to him, and this may be why he steered away from it, I don't know, but I even pointed out when I asked him, I was like, one week you came out as the Texas Lone Ranger, and you pulled the mask off, and you weren't crazy, you were just pissed off Doug Gilbert. And then the next week, you're Roughhouse Fargo. You're all over the studio and everything. And he made some kind of remark. I forget now, something about, well, maybe there's a reason I was pissed off or something like that. I guess maybe that was I was pissed off. I'm fixing to do this gimmick. I don't know. But the fact that he just all of a sudden is crazy and doing all this silly shit just felt weird. Like if they'd just bothered to go on TV, I know Meltzer brought it up. I know it got touched on one time after he was already doing it. But the first time he acted crazy, if Embry would have just come out there in his promo and be like, you see what I did to your brother, huh? You see how he runs around here like a half retard now? That's because of me, But we never got that. We just got Eddie. No, we didn't. Eddie actually tried to make it sound like he had always been that way. Mm-hmm. And I guess he just hit it really well the first 4 years of his career. So I don't know. But that is going to wrap it up. We got they got the win in the first fall. Second fall, time limit runs out. So 1 fall to 0. Doug and Superstar Bill Dundee win. And then we get a recap from Dave Brown and Michael St. John. We got 4 championship matches this week. And we'll talk about that whole card here in just a moment. But first, let's take our podcast commercial break and hear from our friends.
Tired of the same boring wrestling podcast? Need something with attitude, chaos, and maybe just a little cussing? That's stspod.club, and we got it all covered. We've got wrestling weirdness with WTF News Desk, 5-minute time limit, and the Southern fried brain of me, BT, during the whole ship. We also have rolling into Memphis every week about the current Memphis wrestling. Interviews, hot takes, and wrestling outrageousness so wild it might get you banned in 12 states. That's right, it's SDSpod.club, or search all podcast catchers for Shooting the Shiznit, where wrestling podcasts grow chest hair. Not sure what that meant. Love my mama.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling, the podcast that's based on the old school but can still help you find the good stuff from today. Jimmy Street and the Plastic Chic, Jared, are the undisputed tag team champions of the wrestling podcast world. From thought-provoking topics to superstar interviews to action figure expertise. This team does it all, and all they ask is, give me back my pro wrestling! Every other Thursday, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hey guys, Ray Russell here. Lots of new stuff happening here at WrestleCopia. If you haven't checked out our website at WrestleCopia.com, it's a great way to keep up with the latest episodes of all of your favorite Copia programming, from the Wrestling Memory Grenade to Regional Wrestling with the Territory Talk, the Wrestling Stoop with the legendary Bob Roop, and of course all of those programs also available at your favorite podcast streaming platforms. And if you want to stay up to date with everything going on in the Copia world, all the latest news, random thoughts, fun videos, pictures, and more, make sure to join the more than 33,000 followers over at Facebook.com/Wrestling Grenade. Don't be left out. And last but definitely not least, it's what keeps the entire machine going. I'm talking about Patreon.com WrestleCopia. We appreciate your support in helping us pay the bills to keep the WrestleCopia Podcast Network running and enabling us to continue to bring you all the quality programming that we offer.
All right, guys, let's see what all this has been about today and find out what the card is for the Pipkins building. Monday night.
Some kind of super card on this Night of Champions, a parade of champions at the Pipkin Building. Opening match, Doug Gilbert will be going against Tex Salinger. That's just the opening match. Following that, it's going to be a Vietnam combat match. More about this a little bit later, but 10 3-minute rounds as Dong Chao Mang will be there. He's the Vietnamese champion. We'll have him here a little bit later on today. He will be going against Rob Zukowski. That is going to be an interesting match to see. Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert will be climbing into the ring to go against Carl Stiles. Then it's going to be the superstar Bill Dundee against Ta-Gar with that shield and the fingertips that shoot the fire. World Light Heavyweight title match then, the first of the championship matches of the night. Danny Davis will be going against Chris Candino. And then, following that, the Dirty White Boy will have the Dirty White Girl in the corner. Goes against Dr. Tom Pritchard, and the self-proclaimed Miss Texas is going to be in his corner. Then the USWA World Tag Team titles will be on the line against the Western States titles. We just met a little bit earlier today, those Western States champions, Big Judge Dredd and Samu, and they will be putting their belts on the line against the world title belts of Robert Fuller and Jeff Jarrett.
So tremendous match. 4 title matches, 9 big matches.
You're exactly right. Southern heavyweight title will be on the line, too. Eric Embry with Tojo Yamamoto going against Pistol Pez Watley. We'll have Pistol Pez here a little bit later on today, and he has got a shot at that Southern heavyweight title against Embry Monday night. Then, the main event of the night, USWA World Heavyweight title is on the line. Lawler says, I'll put the title on the line, and if I win, I get 3 minutes in the ring with Eric Embry. Lawler said, I'm not worried about this Leatherface. Don't know a thing about him, except he said he's not afraid of someone wearing a Halloween mask. What he wants to do is to get in that ring for 3 minutes with Eric Embry, and he'll have the chance to do that if he can defeat this Leatherface Monday night at the Pipkin Building.
That's right. Free parking.
Did somebody say 3 minutes? Well, if you remember that old Eric Bischoff angle from back in the day with the Samoans. But I don't understand, like, he had already been working as Sabu for a bit, and in 91, Samu the Samoan was very well known. He'd been all over WCW, the WWF. Why the fuck are we calling him Samu here? It just blows my mind.
To me, why are they not putting these two guys had a big reputation on the indies? Everybody wanted to see Rob Van Dam against Sabu. Why aren't they not putting those two guys against each other? So,
well, somebody's got to fight Dong.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm shocked that there's somebody on the card named Dong and he's not involved with Robert Fuller some kind of way.
That's how big it is. It's got its own match.
Yeah.
At some point, Tom Pritchard's going to have to try to hang him. So they say, Tom Pritchard's hanging Dong right here on TV.
I don't get it.
You wouldn't. All right, let's see what you guys thought about this. What was your least favorite part of today's show?
I mean, you know, as comedy filled as it was, and a couple of good strikes, and you know, somebody getting their ass whooped, I was just kind of, you know, with the kickboxing shit, like. And it wasn't like you could tell this guy wasn't a legit kickboxer, because I had seen kickboxer at this point, and he wasn't whooping ass like, you know, Van Damme and fucking Tone Po or whatever the fuck. So, I mean, I kind of saw through it as a kid, and, you know, I love Rob Van Dam, but he was so just... Yeah, real monotone, Rob Zukowski. I'm like just sitting here, you know, like I just, it was a really weird moment.
My least favorite was Pez Watley. I'm just not a fan.
You son of a bitch.
I know it.
How dare you?
I said something about him being black, but he is black, y'all. I'm not racist. He's black.
No, I mean,
5 times now.
At least you didn't call him what you usually call them, folks.
Shit.
We appreciate that.
Boy, fat boy.
I guess my least, I mean, it was humorous in a way, but my least favorite part was that Jarrett and Fuller promo, just for how it was.
was like, what the hell? Why is she laughing?
Like he was pulling a string in her back, and that's how she laughed.
Between that and Corey Macklin coming out, I had a fun time with this episode. I was like,
it had its moments. I mean, we got Ta-Gar shooting stuff out of his shield out there.
At the cameraman. It almost fucking hit the cameraman.
Yes.
My favorite part was the hand, and then he took the hand and put it right on dude's face. I was like, so you're going to burn his face while you're doing this? I don't get it. So, yeah.
I meant to pay attention when we watched the replay there, and I didn't do it, to see if he threw any punches with that hand at any point, because whatever they had rigged up in there to shoot the fire out
I don't
of
think he did. It was all clotheslines, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, well, what were you guys' favorite part of this week's show?
Whew, I mean, it hasn't fully developed yet, but just the clips, Eric Embry just describing the whole situation. Like I said, I'm viewing this and thinking back on it like I did as an 8-year-old, and as a 43-year-old man, I probably would shit all over this, but I have such fond memories of this, like Eric Embry, the Leatherface introduction, everything about that. It was a really, really big part of my childhood.
Absolutely loved it. Loved the whole part of that. That's my favorite part too. Leatherface, him just going out of his way. We talk about it all the time. Embry does the tiny things, and he continues to do just the little things, bringing that whole story of Texas Chainsaw, and then Lawler shits on it.
And then Dave doubles down on it.
Yeah. Halloween mask. I hated that, but as we'll see here in a minute. But Leatherface, to me, would scare the fuck out of me. And I'm like Josh. I'm thinking to myself, now I know better in 1987 because y'all know I've been reading Observer for a year at this point, so I know everything.
This is 91, so you were really...
Oh, wait. No, I started in 86. That's right. I was. Damn. I was really smart then, wasn't I? But just the idea of what Josh said is that this motherfucker's going to have a chainsaw. He's going to cut his head off kind of thing. And I think that, we'll talk about Mid-South Coliseum here in a minute, or Pipkins building here in a minute, but I love this storyline, the whole deal. And I don't even know if it is this storyline, but I always loved someone, and I stole it. I used it when I booked a couple of times, where we bring in somebody different every week to go against the king. So go against, bringing in somebody different. I just love that stuff. So, Leatherface, Embry interview. Embry had another promo too where he said some kind of racist stuff.
I have that. We'll play that on Patreon.
Oh, okay. But yeah, Embry was kind of my favorite part of the whole show today. So
yeah, I hate to pile on and not have at least some different opinion, but I'd be lying if I didn't say that wasn't my favorite part, because I was getting worried. It felt like the Texas angle was kind of off the tracks, and when last week, he brings out Carl Styles, and I'm like, this is where we're at. We're bringing in Carl Styles, like this is supposed to mean anything, and and he's telling Lawler he had no beef with him. So I'm like, are we trying to move away from this? Are we trying to wrap this up? And to me, this felt like, oh man, we're back with a vengeance now, and I feel like this is Lawler. I
was fixing to say this really feels like a new Booker. It really
feels like Lawler had this in his back pocket. And like, all right, when we get ready to start winding down this Texas thing, we can bring in Leatherface, and I'll take down Leatherface. So whoever booked it, great job. I enjoyed it. And so now, BT, I'm going to pitch to you so we can hear what this led to on Monday night.
All right, real quick. So the day before or the night before at Dallas in the Sportatorium, we had 343 people. Embry was there. I just give the people that was there. So they had to drive back. Dundee was there. Pritchard was there. Anthony was there. Miss Texas. It don't say anything about Dirty White Girl. And Tex was there. And Fuller beat Master Blaster, but that wasn't Jack Diamond. It was Big Daddy Falcone. Is that right? Big Daddy Falcone. Sweet Daddy. I keep calling him Big Daddy. And then we go to the Pipkin building in Memphis. Drew nearly 1,000 fans. So, Josh, guess what? You weren't the only one that believed he was going to get his head chopped off, probably. Doug Gilbert beat Tex in the first match. Rob beat Chong Pong Pong Chang Tang. Eddie Gilbert beat Carl Styles. Bill Dundee beat Ta-Gar again. Uncle Danny beat Candido. I bet Uncle Danny liked working Candido. Anthony DDQ Pritchard with the girls getting involved. That I see them building for that. Embry beat Pez Watley by DQ. Jerry Lawler beat Leatherface to earn 3 minutes with Embry, which ended up with Embry jumping Lawler at the bell and pounding on him until Lawler made the comeback with 30 seconds left, and Embry ran off. And they list this as the main event. Jarrett and Fuller beat Judge Dredd. Meltzer said to not be very good. And Samu, not the Samoan, said to be small but very fast. Dave should have known who the fuck that was. To keep the tag titles. And the night after it, I got results for the night after. Just kind of, we always talk about the loop. In Louisville, they had Davis was a draw with Dredd. I bet that was a hell of a night for Uncle Danny trying to get a good match out of him.
They went to, we can't do shit with him. Do shit with him, Danny.
Dundee beat Candido. Fuller and Jarrett beat Blaster and Tex. The Gilberts beat Samu and Embry. Anthony DDQ Pritchard when the girls interfered. Lawler beat Texas Ranger. Remember, they're a week behind. And Jarrett beat Embry. I got a question. So we always do the Sportatorium, and Gene, you might be the only one who can answer this. And if not, you can take it to Doug. Why did Doug and Eddie not make the trip to the Sportatorium? I don't think we've ever had their names on there.
No, I can't remember if I don't guess that's ever been brought up before. I'll have to ask him about that, because it wouldn't be long after this before they'd be going to the Sportatorium for a whole different reason.
Right. They go to Global, but they're not traveling for the Friday night show at all. I don't know if they're doing a spot show or what they're doing, but then you have, this drew 3 times as much as the last show did almost. And it was the opponent. In my mind, no one believed in that fucking Texas Ranger. I don't have a figure for Louisville, so I'd really like to see how many they drew. No one believed that shit. But, man, I think Josh hit the nail on the head for this, why it drew so much. People really believed that was Leatherface and that it wasn't some guy in a Halloween mask. So, do we have clips of that for next week, I wonder? I'd like to see who it was. We know who it was, but I'd like to see the gimmicks. So
I hadn't watched next week's show yet, but I'm sure there'll be clips, especially since Lawler won. He's going to want to show that. I love the way they did that. That's perfect. Lawler wins, but then Embry beats him down for most of the 3 minutes and then gets away. So that we still want to see Lawler
got
get
some
his hands
heat.
on
Yeah,
Embry.
yeah.
So that's good. I got ahead of myself. I didn't ask you guys if you were going to go or not. There's no need in asking now because it's already we've already said what happened.
I was going, and I know Josh was going too. Yeah.
I would pay good money for a tape of that match the following night to see the Gilberts against Eric, Embry, and Sabu.
Oh man, I know it.
Wow.
I was like, damn, that's one of the reasons I actually pulled it out, because I love results of the around the horn. Just that, what are they doing in that town? And I love seeing that kind of stuff. But I would have loved to see. I love to see this show because you had Davis against Dredd. That would have been fun to watch. Dundee against Candido, and the Gilberts, and you always got Anthony and Pritchard. Having a good match. And Jarrett and Embry probably had good matches too if they were given time. So yeah, good show in Louisville that next night.
Absolutely. Well, it'll be interesting, like you say, next week to see clips from the Leatherface match and how that all played out. It wasn't even a disqualification there because we had double DQ and then a DQ. I'm like, all right, this Leatherface is going to get disqualified for pulling out his freaking chainsaw or something. But nope. Sounds like Lawler pinned him, so good deal. We'll check that out. I just want to throw this in. This doesn't have anything to do with USWA, but since we're talking about Leatherface and wrestlers swinging chainsaws, I was watching some old Continental this past week, and at the end of one episode, Jason comes out, and Jason is wearing a jumpsuit, the hockey mask, and he has a chainsaw. And I'm like, when did we just cross up? He had Michael Myers' outfit on, he had Jason's mask, and he had Leatherface's chainsaw. Like, what the hell is this? And I don't think he ever ended up wrestling on TV. They just showed him come down the aisle as the credits were rolling. And I'm like, oh my God, it's Jason. Jason's here. And then you never heard it again. I'm sure he maybe did their loop and did some house shows.
You know, I think Chris Fraser did Jason around this area at one time.
Could have been.
In the Independence. He did Jason. I don't know if it was Jason or Leatherface, but I think it was Jason. And no one knew who he was because he always arrived to the arena in the hockey mask. So, kayfabe.
That's the way you do it. Well, all right. You know what time it is. We got to hit these plugs before we get out of here. First up, stspod.club. What's happening this week, BT?
We just had this past Saturday, episode 10 of 15, I believe, or 16 with Rolling into Memphis 254. Main events, 2 rookies. They've been doing it a little over a year. Vashon Harvey and Ray Sanders. Fun match for 2 guys. And both of those guys was trained at the Wrestle Center. This past Friday, we did WTF News Desk. And I say this every time, but I think it was the best one of me and Gene together. We gave away 2025 What the Fuckinator. So that was fun to do. Fun episode. I usually don't re-listen to it, but I actually listened to our last 2 WTF News Desk yesterday, and I really like what we've done with it. We've tightened everything up, and I like it tight. So we also had this past Saturday ride along with Lawler and Dundee match from July of 1986, and this coming Saturday, we talk about one of the biggest angles, or the show after one of the biggest angles in Memphis history, as the show is kind of weird. Just put it that way. So, but we have the CWA show. It should be fun to watch. And it's only on Patreon. You can get it on my Patreon. You can get it on Gene's Patreon, but we would never, well, don't say never in the wrestling business, but for the next 2 years, you will never see it on the main feed. So
if you see it on the main feed, you can know that I have died.
Well, yeah, because I'm gonna put it up on the main feed, so I don't have to do new episodes. So if you die, so
best ofs. Yeah. All right, now what do we hear on P3 Radio this week?
All right. Real quick, I care 4 out of 5 hoots about P3 Radio, the podcast that always talks about. Y'all haven't had 5 hoots in a while, guys. But never gives you the links or descriptions in the notes. They talk about videos. It was episode 439, Boys Beware, and now you can start my timer if you want to. Or do you need me to?
Yeah, you better do that.
All right, let me see if I can find it. Here we go. This is the P3 Radio. Smokey, man, I'm hating on you. Smokey healed me, y'all. Shiznit Minute P3 Radio. Josh talked about lights on or lights off sex. That's a good topic for Patreon. We might do that. Neither one of them have a grandmother. Everyone dies, y'all. That is your lesson for that. No grandmothers. Wah, wah. Richard and his family went to a football game. For some reason, I wanted to hear the Benny Hill theme during that. Richard does not hump his pillow after he returns from mom's house, but Bandit, or whatever that fucking big dick dog's name is, does it. And Richard plays music while his dog hunches the blanket. Made me real uncomfortable. We had some bed reviews, ground blanket reviews, and they spent rest of the show watching molester videos. Hey, I said it. They did it. I just said what they did. So that was the Shiznit Minute for P3 Radio this week. Wow, I got it in within the minute. Oh, there we go.
That's the thing now? They show molester videos on...
Well, what the deal is...
listen to Josh. He wants to explain that. Come on now. You got to let people go to it, Josh.
What it was anti-gay propaganda from 1961.
Oh, they're
awesome. Every single gay person on there was a pedophile.
Yeah,
they,
you could.
they presented them. They presented it in a way to where if you were a gay man in 1961, you were definitely a pedophile.
Those videos are just disturbing. It's like you said, it's Reefer Madness with a gay Reefer Madness is what it is.
Do we need to invite a certain someone on to supply a counterpoint to that?
Every gay man is not a molester, damn it.
Oh, I can't think of one single response to that I can say. Anyway, USWApodcast.com.
Thank you.
You can find all the links to the show there. Check out DougGilbertPodcast.com. Tommy and Doug are back with a vengeance. Going to be doing it every week moving forward.
Good episode.
And,
very good episode. 3. I know you talk about the technical difficulties you have with Tommy, but for some reason there's a little silence like y'all are trying to talk to Tommy, and I get the biggest laugh out of that because I'm thinking to myself, he's opening a beer. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. So,
yeah,
and Tommy was
it's like he's a foreign correspondent in another country, and it's like taking a while to get to him.
Good episode.
That's right, guys.
I'm excited. This is my Friday morning listening. So,
yep, well, it's back. People were blowing up my inbox, asking me for the last 3 or 4 months, however long it's been that we've been off. When's it coming back? When's it coming back? It's coming back. I just don't know when, but here it is. So enjoy. And you can find it over at youtube.com/@retro-wrestling-archive, along with over 4,000 other videos, along with my other podcast and the stuff that we are repurposing from BT's STS Pod is going up over there. A lot of great interviews, a lot of interesting people that BT has interviewed who aren't all necessarily people who have made the podcast rounds and have done all these interviews, and you've heard everything they could possibly have to say. There's been
you put the John Gallagher. I don't know if that name's familiar with. If you fans of my age, you'll remember John put out one of those kayfabe dirt sheets called Wrestling Forum. He had an interview with him. One with Jetty McKay talking about was it Pro Wrestling Ringside Reflector.
Yeah.
And we had Steve Beverly, who did Matt Watch, who is actually the guy that started this whole ratings bullshit. He started it back in the day. But those are some fun interviews. That 2-part Steve is up there. And there's a 2-part with Randy Hales up there. So, yeah, a lot of fun stuff on the site.
Back in happier times with you and Randy, there were no arguments or anything in that. So good stuff. And Dr. Mike Lano, I wasn't expecting that. Or Lano.
Oh,
Lano,
yeah, he don't do interviews. Yeah. He is a long-time friend of mine. Yeah.
So check those out. You also, patreon.com/retro wrestling archive. That's our retro wrestling archive is my Patreon. BT's patreon.com/shootingtheshiznit. Feel free to join either or both. Preferably, that would be nice. Check out substack.com/retro wrestling archive. If you're watching the video, ignore that at. I keep forgetting to take that out every week.
I'm taking it out right now.
Bless your heart. Thank you, sir. I've been trying to put out like an article every week. This week, as I mentioned, there's one about Pistol Pez Watley. I got a few others in the works, so keep an eye out there for that. Want to plug EPWWrestlingMS.com. Check out their show over on YouTube. A lot of great young talent there, and Neil Taylor does a hell of a job with that TV show. And I'm now the full-time play-by-play guy, so I'm on TV every week now, so that's fun if you want to see me more than you do on these damn podcasts, which I highly doubt. But also, check out tinyurl.com/WolfieDbook for you can get the physical paperback copy of Wolfie's book, but we also have the Kindle version, ebook version you can get there, and the new 30-year anniversary version of the Eddie Gilbert book is up on Amazon, and it is also there as both a paperback and as a ebook, Kindle book as well. So check that out. It's got a couple of extra chapters, some new pictures, different things in there. And I believe that has us covered. So, guys, anything else before we wrap this up?
Think I'm good,
My
Gene.
mama. Thank you, guys. It's a fun show again.
Definitely.
Thank you.